All right? This is your warning, Israel. You blacks, Hispanic, and Native, we out here because we love you, man. We trying to warn you. You're going to die from the next drug you do. You're going to die from the next whore you sleep with. You're going to be in prison for the rest of your life for the next drug you sell. All right?
It's over with. It's not over. We thought that slavery was over with. It's not over. It's still continuing right now as we speak. In order to stop this oppression, what we have to do is get back to our oracles, which is serving the Most High.
That's right.
All right, that's what we got to get back to, man. Otherwise, we are going to continue to be a byword and a proverb and an example for our oppressor.
Right.
If you don't understand what I'm saying, a target. And that's literally going to be on your back. You are going to be the next brother or sister that is known as Sonia Massey, George Floyd, Philando Castile. How many times must we go through this in order to understand what the Lord is trying to show us? All right?
For shelter, comfort, a hedge of protection. The only way you're going to find it is here in ISUPK, and you're going to find out how to properly serve the Most High. So when these bombs drop and the things that's going to happen to this nation happens, you can have the Lord's protection around you. And we don't want you to be sure that you have it. We want you to make sure that you have it. And how do you make sure you get in these classes in ISUPK and study to show yourself approved of what we're talking about? If you don't believe it, go back to being a disgusting person you've always been your whole life. Or you can.
It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All black Hispanics and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like a pair. Wake 'em up in a drain for the cold hard move. Smallest chicken, make 'em scream, set 'em up with boy. Cut on me bad. Tryna see what niggas if they born. Steve to the Valentine, he said he left us, got a marquee. Come sit down for the show and some popcorn to it. Man, me, my hoe, sexy like I been. I get on where I get the singing, thought you just make dance me. I try to sneak a scatter rap game, but my fans knew it. Don't get scared, nah, I tell the people they been sleeping. I been counting bed, now that shit get scared, niggas creeping. You can better leg, nah, when they do it, just a sleep in. I turned in a band, boy, that bitch stay on my head. Now, boo, 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 hop out, boo, 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 hop out. Nigga, boo, gone, watch me come through. Yeah, took one of my brown white dudes who could dope on me, pulled over, I'm in trouble. I put a 10, had a stash, I thought
That's not how it should be, man. This scripture that Christ had told his disciples is how you stop crime as a whole. Because when you go to him and him alone, and for you sisters out there who love the beef and who don't like to talk to another woman about how she treated you, you sisters need to go to her alone as well.
Nobody is holding you accountable for the things that you say you were doing or not doing. There's no, like the scriptures say, everything should be done in decency and in order.
That's right.
There's no order and decency with you going on the internet and running in the streets with no guidance, without being sent, without being anointed by the man of the Lord, by being sent by a man of God out there on them streets. You must be sent.
When you hear us say salute, Shalom, Yahabashim Shabrakatah, right? That is Hebrew. Okay? Shalom, Shalom, that is not Hebrew. I don't know where you learned that from. Most likely from Esau, from the Jewish. On the street corners. And we ain't selling dope, but we are teaching you how to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We are teaching you how to not be a drug addict and a drug dealer.
Right.
How to keep you out of prison. How to not make you a target for Esau to use. Let's clap it up. Hey, shalom, Yahweh Shem Shah Brakatham to the brothers, shalom Yahweh Shamar, Allah Shem Shah to the sisters, all right? Officer 5000, Maccabia, ISUPK, Minnesota, all right? We got a few things to get into, man. As you know, tomorrow is going to be Valentine's Day, and you know how that's going to go. There's going to be a lot. All right, there we go. We back. It's lucky for that. So, if I may, just in case I got cut off, once again, I want to say shalom. Yahweh Shem Shah Brakatham to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar. Allah Shem Shah to the sisters. All right. Also, too, I'm going to put the attendance sheet in the chat. By the way, we are just on we are on YouTube and Twitter at the moment. Facebook, you know, flags us every time we say something that's trying to save Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians' lives, all right? So just bear with us as far as other social media. But all right, let's get it, though. Once again, shalom. I am officer and priest, 5000, Maccabia, okay? And right now, this is the brotherhood class. Now, every time I say that it's the brotherhood class, understand that this is for sisters as well. So this is a brotherhood class, but it's a sisterhood class as well, all right? Where we go over the things that plagues our communities the most, that affects us every single day, that thing that we have to attack and defeat and find a solution to, okay? And in order to do so, we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror, and we have to realize that somebody is the problem. Something or someone is the problem. And 9 times out of 10, when it comes to your community, it is you. You become the problem, and you are not the solution. And we are going to get into all of that, man. Just know that tomorrow is Valentine's Day. All right, a lot of people are very excited. Some people are not excited. However, Valentine's Day is just another distraction for you to spend money, unnecessary amount of money that can go elsewhere, okay? Money that can go into building up your community. Valentine's Day is not a day about love whatsoever. And we are going to get that in the Bible. We are going to show and prove what Valentine's Day stems from and what it really is today, what it always has been, all right? So if anybody got any questions or concerns, please type it into the chat, and I'll get to it, okay? So Valentine's Day, once again, is tomorrow, and some people are already pre-gamed as far as starting the celebration early. There's going to be a whole lot of sneaky links. There's going to be a whole lot of jealousy, malice, envy, fighting, unaliving. A lot is going to happen. If no one has paid attention within all these years of celebrating these holidays, all right, if you have not paid attention since you were a child up until your adult age, the death toll has risen. It has risen to a crazy number, to the point where it keeps growing and growing each year. It doesn't get lower. Every time there's a holiday, something tragic always happens. That should let you know that you should not be celebrating that. Okay? Also, too, how is it that, we say that Christmas is the holiday to worship God, worship Christ, so to speak, right? It's Christ's birthday. If that's the case, then why do terrible things happen on Christmas? You would think with all the love and all the sweetness and blessings that your Christian pastor tells you that Christ is all about, you would think that would save that bad spirit from coming upon you and your family and your friends, your loved ones on Christmas Day. That's not the point. Because if something was really of the Lord, it would be in decency and in order. Do you understand? It would be in decency and order if it was of the Lord. Okay? If the Lord is behind something that represents him, it's going to be in order, however he wants it. But however, when it comes to Valentine's Day, what's coming up, St. Patrick's Day, after that, some people celebrate April Fools, which is April 1st, I guess. Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Mother's, Father's Day. All these days are of men. These are the traditions of men, and it's not the traditions of the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indians. It's not the traditions of the Most High. This was not, you cannot find the holidays of America, the holidays of China, Russia, Japan, Korea, wherever. You cannot find these holidays in the Bible. You sure can't find it in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. You can look long and hard, but you're not going to find it. But however, you are going to see something that you've never seen before. Something that is absolutely holy and separate. Something that brings you close to your people and to your power, to your God. And that's called the High Holy Days. Not holidays, but High Holy Days. That's what it is. Okay? That's really what it is. Those High Holy Days that are in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, that's what the Lord requires of you. That's what you should be celebrating. That is something that you should prepare for. Just like Purim. Purim is going to be February 22nd through the 23rd. 2 days. Most High in Christ. 2 days we are going to have the Feast of Purim. And that is in the celebration of the Most High. That represents him. That represents our nation. That has something to do with us. Valentine's Day has nothing to do with you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native man, woman, and child. It has nothing to do with you whatsoever. It's a business. It's all about money. That's it. That's why you spend money. That's why, okay, how is it that you have a memorial sale? Isn't a memorial a time of grief? I would think, right? Like Memorial Day is when you're thinking about your dead loved ones. Veterans Day, you're thinking about your loved ones who are alive and dead, who have served their country, fought for their country. But why is there always a sale on Memorial Day? I mean, there's a Christmas sale, Thanksgiving sale. I even seen a Martin Luther King sale. Like, it's all about money. No one really gives a damn about it. I mean, some people are very, very infatuated when it comes to these holidays, but they mean nothing. They do nothing. Okay? And that's the point, man. But we are going to get some precepts, though. All right? We are not going to talk all day. We are going to get straight to the point. All right? So y'all bear with me here. Let me see something. Give me 1 second here. All right. All right. So, well, first things first, right? As we break down these precepts, I do want to get into the history, the origin story of Valentine's Day. Now, Valentine's Day is, once again, it's not what you think it is. It's not about love. It's not about, you giving a damn about your significant other. You can love your significant other any day, any time of the day, any time of the month. Why does it have to be February 14th? Why do you have to celebrate Thanksgiving and give thanks to your family? That's not the true meaning of Thanksgiving. Everybody knows the true story of what that holiday is all about. It's about the slaughter of another people, the Native Indians to be exact. It's the victory that the oppressor, who was a white man, had over the Native Indians, who are family to the blacks and Hispanics. All right? So if you are so-called black and Hispanic, and you celebrate Thanksgiving, you are a traitor. You don't love your brother. You don't love your sister. You don't have compassion to what happened to them. All right? You don't have compassion. You have hatred in your heart, hatred in your actions. Okay? And that's something that in the ISUPK, we are working day and night to fight against the hatred of one another. And the only reason why we hate each other the way we do is because of our oppressor. Our oppressor is he's very versed in his lies, and he's very versed in his actions when it comes to putting people against each other that should not be against each other. Once again, we are in 2024. There are still arguments to this day whether if the so-called Hispanics and the so-called natives and the so-called blacks are all one people, right? Or if they've been through more captivities than the other, more oppression than the other, more struggle than the other. Like, you're losing your mind. You're losing your focus. Bottom line is, we can get into that another time, but Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the same people. We are one and the same. We are not different. The Most High has a chosen people, and it's the 12 tribes of Israel. And that makes up, all 12 tribes make up the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right? So let's get into it real quick. All right, 1 second here. Okay, all right, so let me see here. All right. So now, the history of Valentine's Day. Let's get that first. Before we get any precepts, let's make sure that we get that first, because that's highly important. Let me see here. All right, so I have an article right here that's going to get into the whole history about it, and I want y'all to listen and pay attention, all right? Valentine's Day, the wild pagan history behind the romantic holiday. February 14th wasn't always about chocolates and flowers. Learn about Valentine's Day's surprisingly naughty origins. On Valentine's Day, millions present flowers, chocolates, and cards to their sweethearts, while the holiday's traditions really became cemented in the 1800s. Historians link its roots to wild pagan rivalries from before the birth of Saint Valentine himself. So, of course, right? So Valentine's Day has been around for such a long time. Think about the Roman Empire, okay? Because that's where a lot of these holidays come from. And in order to understand where all the holidays that we have right now in America come from, it comes from another captivity. in another captivity, because it was copy and paste. Every time that we were in captivity, all the nations were doing, they were serving multiple gods and serving the same gods as well. So a lot of these gods and a lot of these holidays are very much the same, just like it was back in Rome, back in the Syrian captivity, the Babylonian captivity, so on and so forth. It's no different. They probably changed the name up, they tweaked it a little bit, they cleaned it up to make it, look a little better, to make it look, more appealing, so to speak, right? And that's what happened. Okay? And that's Valentine's Day, but we are going to get into it. The origins of Valentine's Day. Many historians believe the seeds of Valentine's Day were planted in Lupercalia, an ancient Roman festival honoring Juno, the Roman goddess of marriage, and the Capelline wolf, a mythic creature who supposedly suckled Romulus and Remus, Rome's twin founders, when they were abandoned as infants. The Latin word for wolf is lupus. Okay? Dating back at least at the 6th century BC, Lupercalia was a sexually charged and violent rite. So Lupercalia is a festival. It was a festival to honor marriage, right? To honor romance. Now, that's where, the word romantic and romance, it comes from the word Rome. Now we heard about Romulus and Remus, right? Romulus and Remus were twin boys, okay? Now, later on, we are going to see why it was called Rome. Lupercalia was a sexually charged and violent rite. So it was a sexually charged and violent rite, meaning it was filled with a bunch of whoredom, all right? A bunch of inappropriate, unlawful things, so to speak, okay? That type of festival. Involving the sacrifice of dogs and male goats as a sign of fertility. On February 15th, priests known as Luperci had their foreheads anointed with the blood from the sacrificial knife, and then were wiped clean with wool soaked in milk. The Luperci would later cut strips of goat hide and run naked through the city, whipping nearby women with the bloody hide. So what happened was they would cut a piece of the goat and make it like a strip, like you know how you have like a small towel and it's kind of like long or whatever, right? And it's kind of like wet. So they took a good layer of the skin of a goat, and of course it was bloody, and it was twisted around and it's bloody, it's messy, right? And then we'll run around naked. Let me see. Run around naked through the city and whipping nearby women with the bloody hide. Okay? They will whip this woman with the bloody hide. So as they're running naked through the street, through the city, and women, wants to probably get blessed with marriage, they will have that piece of skin of that goat, that bloody piece of skin, and it was long, and it was whipping the woman with it, and the blood would splatter all over them. Okay, as a sense of fertility or virility. Okay, let me see. Yeah, okay, Khan. Let's keep going. Many women of rank also purposely get in their way, and like children at school, present their hands to be struck. Present their hands to be struck. So many women of rank also purposely get in their way just to be struck by this piece of bloody skin, and also have their hands out as well so they can be touched with the blood of the goat. Because once again, it represents fertility and it represents marriage. Okay? Let's see. The belief is that the pregnant will thus be helped in delivery and the bearing to pregnancy. Also during Lupercalia, men would choose a woman's name from a jar and escort her to the festival. In some cases, the couple would form a romantic bond or even marry. So some would create so you pick a woman's name from a jar and you take this woman to a festival. And that happens very much to this day, right? In 2024, you ask a woman to be your Valentine's, okay? Some woman may ask a man the same thing, because what you're doing is you are escorting her or him on this romantic, festival. That's how it always goes. Every time you're in school, they have a secret Valentine. They have what is called telegrams. People have posters just to, escort this woman or escort this man to be their Valentines for the prom, for the festival, for whatever. You get the point. And that's very much the tradition today, right now. It has not changed whatsoever. Okay? Let's see. In some cases, the couple would form a romantic bond or even marry. Now, if you do not know, sex is marriage. All right? That's what that is. If you want to marry somebody, it's not a piece of paper. Marriage is a man and a woman in that bedroom doing adult things. That's marriage. It's intercourse. Okay? It's the birds and the bees. All right? Now, let's keep going. The evolution of Valentine's Day. The Lupercalia rite continued for centuries, even after the assassination. Even after the ascension of Christianity in Rome, Pope Hilarius reportedly demanded Emperor Themis abolish it in 467 AD. And some 30 years later, Pope Lassus tried to supplant it by declaring February 14th the feast of Saint Valentine. So at one point, it lived on past Rome. But then someone said, you know what, let's stop this. And then 30 years later, after it was stopped, it came right back. And they declared it for February 14th be the day of Saint Valentine's Day. So now the thing is this, right? You're worshiping somebody. You're worshiping somebody that is not the Most High. And I'm only speaking to so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You're worshiping somebody that is not of the Lord. Somebody that's not the Lord, Salaki. You are worshiping another God. You are worshiping an idol. Somebody that the Lord does not approve of. The fact that the Most High doesn't want you to serve anybody but him. He is the power, nobody else. There's no other gods before the Most High. And plus also too, all these other gods are fake. They're not real. A lot of them are not real. Okay? You are serving something that you do not know what you are serving, right? And actually, there's a precept that goes with that as well. Ye know not what you worship. Like Christ said that, man. Like, you don't know what you're worshiping. Like also too, it also talks about in Revelation how we worship the dragon in ignorance. We worship everything and all things, but do not have any recollection of it. We think that we are just doing it for the kids. We're just having fun. No, you are serving something that you do not know what it is. You are putting yourself in grave danger. You and your family. If you ain't got a family, it's you. But honestly, all Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we are responsible for each other, one way or another. We are responsible for each other. Because when one mess up, we all mess up, right? That's how they say. Otherwise, when one makes a mistake, it causes a mistake for all of us. Like it causes a ripple effect, and that's the problem. That's why Valentine's is such a disgusting day, because you have to understand what you do affects everybody. It affects you, me, him, her, the entire nation. Some way, somehow, it affects all of us. And that lets you know how the Most High doesn't look at us as individuals, but as a nation, as a group of people. Because that's what we are, a people, not individuals. A people is more than one. So we are a group, but we have to be one body. How can we be one body if Valentine's Day is our main priority? There is no relevance to February 14th. As a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, that should be far from you. What should be on your mind is Purim. What should be on your mind is how to change your life. What should be on your mind is keeping those laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what should be on your mind. That's really what it should be. That should be on your mind. How do I fix myself? How do I change the state and situation of my people? You have to stop with Valentine's Day. You have to stop with St. Patrick's Day, your birthday. I know it's coming up probably what, tomorrow, next week, in a couple of months. Was it yesterday? Like, come on, man. We have to do better. We have to do better as a people. We are stuck in this America's dream. All right? We are stuck in America's dream that's really a nightmare. Just like MLK. That dream that he had was not a dream. That was not a dream whatsoever. That was a goddamn nightmare. And it's a nightmare that we have not woken up from yet. Because we still believe that there are, some good people out there that's not going to shoot you down in the street. We believe that, maybe the whole earth is not really against us. I mean, like, where's your head? Where's your mind at? Where's your soul? Because it's very clear that you're not seeing things for what it is. You are under attack. These holidays are nothing but a distraction. There's so much more that you could be doing wisely with your money besides giving it to the hands of your oppressor with these holidays, because that's really what's happening. It's that lust that you have that is so strong that you cannot give up, that thing that pleases your flesh. We have to do better as a people. Now, I'm going to mention a few other things, and then we're going to get to some precepts real quick, all right? I'll stop it right there. So Romulus and Remus, right? I'll speed it up. Romulus and Remus, pretty much, they grew up, they were suckled by a she-wolf, okay? Lupercilia, right? So this she-wolf was suckling these two babies, twin babies, Romulus and Remus. They got older, they got big and strong, they got older. They fought against each other. So Romulus, represents Rome. Remus represents Rome, right? So when they had this war against each other, whoever won was going to be the top dog. So Romulus ended up defeating his brother Remus, okay? And that's why today Rome is called Rome, all right? Rome is called Rome because Romulus won the war. Remus did not. If Remus won the war, it would have been called Rome, okay? You get the point, right? But it's called Rome. And the word romantic or romance comes from Rome. All this ties into Valentine's Day. Cupid is based off of a deity of fertility and love, which also represents wickedness as well. But I was trying to speed y'all up real fast. We'll dive into this a little bit more, later this week for sure, right? Let's see. Let me see. Now, we have Titus Pulio, right? Titus Pulio in Lucius Vorenus. Now, Lucius Vorenus and Titus Poyo were both in a war or in the military, so to speak, right? And there's this word called unit cohesion. When you look this up in the military and you look at the origins of unit cohesion just means that you have love for your partner. Meaning this, like you have love for the person that's right next to you. So in the military, right? You can look this up on your own as well. Back then, the time of Titus Poyo and Lucius Vorenus, in order to have that bond to fight for one another, to fight for your brother, so to speak, or your partner in crime in that war, you know what I mean? You know, that soldier right next to you, in order to create that unit cohesion, to make it strong, these men will have intercourse with each other. Because with having intercourse with each other, you have love for this person. Versus if you're not dealing with that person intimately. Now, once again, you can look this up. As far as the military, it's called unit cohesion. And this is very, very disgusting. It's called unit cohesion, where a bond is very strong to the point it cannot break. Now, however, you don't have to sleep with a man, if you are a man, to build that close bond to where it won't break. All right? That is what the oppressor does. As a Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, that is not what you are supposed to do. The Most High is against that. All right? Like it's fast. It's like it's amazing. It's astonishing to see how everything plays into all these holidays. Like Valentine's Day plays into the LGBT community movement. That spirit of the homosexuality. It plays into that spirit very well. And once again, in order to create that bond with that person that you love, you sleep with them in the military. That's how it went. And now also too, now the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of this, right? When Titus and Lucius were in war, one of them were down on the ground. I want to say, I want to say it was probably Lucius that was injured, and so Titus, I believe, is the one that unalived his enemy, or the person that injured his brother, or the one that he had that bond with, that intimate sexual bond with. He had unalived the person that injured him and cut out his heart and gave it to his lover and said, here's my heart. Here's the enemy's heart to you. And that's where the whole romance things come from. Okay? Once again, just absolutely disgusting. But this is something that is the origin of where giving my heart to someone else means, or where that comes from. All right? So, moving on from that. Okay, let me see here. What's next? Let me see. 1 second here. Okay. All right, let's see here. Give me 1 second here. Let me check something. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything at all. Right, yeah. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, like, so that term of like me giving you my heart, you know what I mean? That comes from that story of Titus Poyo and Lucius Vorenus. Okay? And once again, it's something that you gotta search up yourself. They also made an HBO show out of this as well. All right, which is crazy. But anyway, moving on. Let's see. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Like, once again, like, learn not the way of the heathen. That was something that came out. And mind you, this is Jeremiah, who is in the time of the Babylonian captivity, just like Ezekiel was, Daniel was. Who else am I missing? There's there's a few other brothers that was during, there during the time of the Babylonian captivity. Let me see. But mind you, though, the Babylonian captivity was there for quite a while. But there were different prophets at different time periods of the Babylonian captivity. All right. So understand that with Egypt and Pharaoh, that was the Egyptian captivity, but also to Babylon. Okay. So Moses, and then boom, boom, boom. Years later, you got Jeremiah, you got Daniel, you got Ezekiel, I believe Obadiah, so on and so forth, right? Possibly Isaiah. I have to triple check on that. But the point is this, though, right? Jeremiah was in a time of the Babylonian captivity where they were doing all types of manner of wickedness. Also, too, this is the same chapter where it speaks about the tradition of Nimrod. Nimrod was an African man who pretty much is the birth of how Christmas even started. Because back then, it was never called Christmas. It was called the worship of Nimrod, or Nimrod's Day. Okay? Now, of course, Nimrod was the one who slept with his mother, who was also his wife. So it was his actual mother, but when he slept with her, that became his wife as well. You see, a very, very vile, disgusting story. And so when that happened and he passed away, his mother took over and had the whole nation, the whole people, the whole country worship Nimrod and said that his spirit is in that tree. And if you do not give it gifts, if you do not give this evergreen tree a gift, what's going to happen is you are going to be unalived. Your head is going to be on that tree as an ornament. So there's so much that goes into that. All right. Let me see here. So once again, Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. So once again, learn not the way of the heathen. And this is thus saith the Lord, meaning the Most High said this. All right? Learn not the way of the heathen. Okay? So what does it mean to learn the way of the heathen? To learn their culture, to do as they do, to act as they act. All throughout the Bible, the Most High warns us. He gives us instructions. He gives us, warning signs, and he gives us rules of what to do and what not to do. And one of these rules were do not learn not the ways of the heathen. Okay? And the reason why is because the heathens do things that are against God, that are unlawful, the things that the Most High does not seek glory in. Okay? He doesn't see the honor in. And if you notice, man, all these other nations, outside of the Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, look at all the other races of people and see what they do in their culture that everybody makes jokes about till this very day. You got Israel always talking about how the Chinese, they cooking rap. They're doing this, they doing that. Africans, there's always a joke about an African, how African smells and how African does this and does that. You know what I mean? You name it. The white man, how the white man does this and how he does that. The Arab man, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence, man, because throughout our history, these people that surround us, that are not our people, they have always been these people who have been disgusting, who have been a people that the Lord does not consider, the Lord does not respect or give a damn about. All right? But however, he does care about his own people, his chosen people. That's why he punished you when you decide to go against him. It makes perfect sense. He's a father. The Most High is a perfect father. All right? He's an amazing father who chastises those that he loves. And that's in the Bible. But he did say, learn out the ways of the heathens. So don't learn to smoke anything, because that's not an Israelite culture. It's not an Israelite thing. That's of the heathens. Don't learn the ways of trying to rock dreads. That's of the East Indians. That's part of their culture. And dreads is literally dead, matted hair. Ain't nothing clean. There's nothing that you can do to detox it. It's still dirty. All you're doing is getting a little bit of dirt out of those damn dreads. But once you detox it, it's still dirty. You wanna know why? Because it's dead hair and it's built up. And it smells, man. That's not the way, that's something that you should not learn. But if you have learned that way, you learn the ways of the heathens, like the Most High said not to do. Valentine's Day. You got to think about it, right? Where does Valentine's Day come from? The history that I just broke down, it came from white people, not from us. And what's really the significance of Valentine's Day? To show your loved one, your sneaky link, or your side hoes and side chicks, side niggas that you got some type of love for them? Because you give them a little bit of sex, you give them some gifts on the 14th of February, that's not love, man. That is not love. So much unlawfulness goes on these days. And mark my words, you heard it here first. After today, a lot of people are going to lose their life. And 1 minute, everybody's going to be ha ha, kiki, it's going to be funny. It's going to be all laughs and jokes. You sleeping with another man's woman. You sisters out there sleeping with a man that's not your man. Oh, it's going to be ha ha, kiki. And y'all enjoying yourselves, and then all you know, the Most High is going to cut your water off. He's going to cut your water off. It's going to be lights out for you. And then you are going to be on a t-shirt, on the news, on a Facebook post, an Instagram post. You are going to be white America's news coverage. And then they move on to the next. And then you're all forgotten about. That's going to happen this Valentine's Day. It's going to happen every single time until you decide to realize, like, damn, you know what? Man, every time I celebrate these holidays, something bad happens. Somebody's always getting hurt. Someone's always getting unalive. Man, you know what? That one holiday I almost OD, man. I tried to pop a pill and, I almost overdosed, and it was like a little bit of fentanyl in there. I tried to pass the blunt and smoke weed with my friends, and it was laced. Like when will you learn? Okay, like when will you learn that life is not a joke unless you play with it? Then yes, you become the joke. And the joke is that you are going to be unalive. And it's really not so funny anymore. It was very funny when you were doing all the evil, but once it's game over, the joke has very much ended. No one's laughing. Everyone is sad. Everyone's crying. You're being buried. Your family is in lamentation and deep sorrow. But I guess everybody don't give a damn. They just want to live their life because I guess everybody's going to die anyway. I always hear that every time. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people, we all just may die. Absolutely. We may all just lose our life, grow in old age, or we might get, unalive or something like that. I get it. But at the same time, we may all go into the grave. Absolutely. But have you ever asked yourself this question, all right? Would it be so much better if you left this earth knowing that you live your life with a great purpose? Because you can live a terrible life and live a life of fun and freedom. And once you lose your life, you can come back even worse because reincarnation is so real. It's such a real thing. And we see it every day in front of our face. It is so real. It's very real. So play with your life if you want to, and you will get the reward of playing around, okay? You will get the grand prize for it. You are going to get the greatest reward for playing around with your life. Valentine's Day just might be that thing that takes your life. Drinking yourself to death just may take your life. You want to smoke? Or the next time you smoke, it just might be fentanyl in there. And yes, in your cigarettes too. There may just be something that you won't get away with this time. You've done all this evil and nothing happened to you yet. Nothing happened to you yet. So you think that you can get away with it, right? But maybe just that next time, this is going to end your life. This is going to be the end of you. Maybe tomorrow on Valentine's Day, when you go to hook up with your sneaky link, right? You know, or your side piece, right? And her man comes through the door and blow your effing brains out. Maybe the worst has to happen in order for you to understand. But sometimes it's too late. If that man comes through that door and y'all are messing around in that bed, it's game over. It's lights out. You are done for. You are on a t-shirt. That's it. Moving on. All right. So that was Jeremiah 10 and 2. Let me see. All right. Mark chapter 7, verse 7. Howbeit, in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Right. So like, how do you say you worship Christ? Or I'm sorry, how do you say you serve the Most High in Christ, but yet you do everything that man does? A true man of war, a true sister of the Lord, a true man of the Lord, they are in this world, but not of this world. You may live in America as a man and woman that serves the Most High. You may live in America. You may live in Russia or China, Brazil, North America, Central America, South America, wherever. You live there, but you're not of that environment, is what that means. So yes, you live in a place where everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. Everybody is a part of the LGBT community. But you live there, but you're not of those people. You're not of that environment. You live a different life than everybody around you. Although you live in a place where everything is wickedness, everything is sin. That's a real man and woman of the Lord. They live in a wicked place, a place filled with wickedness and sin at your door, outside of your door, on your TV, on your phone, on your laptop. But you are not of that world. You don't partake. You're not a part of the LGBT. But you live in a community that is, right? It's no different than Lot. Lot in the book of Genesis. Lot lived in Sodom and Gomorrah, which was not just about homosexuality, right? It was more, it was just a lot of wickedness going on there. But homosexuality is one of the biggest topics that you will hear about when it comes to Sodom and Gomorrah being destroyed, right? But there was other things going on too. But Lot lived there, but he was not of them. All right. I pray you understand what I'm saying to you. All right. So anyway, so once again, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. So this was a cut to the Sadducees and Pharisees, because Christ is like, look, how do you say that you worship me? You know what I mean? But yet you teach doctrines of men. You teach men to serve other gods and idols. You teach men to celebrate birthdays. You teach men that all the laws are done away with. That's what you are teaching men. You teach men that they can divorce their woman if they are upset with them. That's not in the Bible. You are teaching men that it's okay to have a feminine side, to be a part of the LGBT lifestyle. Says who? Not the Most High? Not Christ? None of the disciples co-signed that. Not at all. So you are teaching things of men. And Valentine's Day is of men. The Feast of Purim on the 22nd and 23rd next week is of the Lord, not of men. Okay? All right, so moving on. I'm gonna go through some more precepts because I know we're running out of time. Let me see. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 16. Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived. Now, take heed, meaning to take heed, right? Means that you need to be careful, be watchful, be mindful, right? Be mindful or take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived. You want to protect what is being, okay, you want to protect yourself, all right? You want to protect your mind, your body, and your soul from being deceived, right? You want to make sure that what's being taught to you, what's being, what's being taught to you is absolutely correct. Now, you got to watch people because they can be very sneaky, like our oppressor, right? You know what I mean? Like our oppressor is so sneaky to the point where some people forget the initial origin story of Thanksgiving. They forget about it. They forget that it's about the slaughter of the native Indians. But somehow, years and years later, it's about family. It's about spending time with your loved ones. Like, damn, like, how do we go to the horrific story of Thanksgiving being about the oppressor unaliving the native Indians in a crucial, gruesome way? Now we're on the topic of it's about family. Yeah, don't let your heart be deceived, man. Like it can happen so quick and so easy. You know what I mean? Like one thing that the Most High will never do is have you do something unlawful. Another thing that the Most High will never do, he will never provoke you to commit sin and then punish you for it. What type of God or power is that? That wouldn't be a righteous power, right? But however, the Most High is a righteous God, a righteous power, to the point where he would set you up for success, not failure. That's why he says that, look, you are doing a tradition of men. That is not, Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. It's not of the Lord, man. Once again, where is that in the Bible? How do we know that this is of the Lord and not of the Lord? If you did not see it in that Bible, that lets you know it's not of the Lord. Okay? Birthdays. Where's birthdays in the Bible? I'll tell you what, birthdays is actually in the Bible, actually. You know what I mean? A true story, right? But something very wicked happened. Pharaoh had hung one of his right-hand men on a day of his celebration. But more than anything, besides that story, right? Let's say that story of Pharaoh hanging his right-hand man on his birthday or his celebration special day or whatever, right? Let's say that was never in the Bible. How do we know that birthdays are still unlawful? Because it's all about you, right? It's all about you. You get the presents. You get all the gifts. It's about you. It's one of those self-centered, selfish type of holidays. You are the God. It's all about you. It's so crazy to the point where brothers and sisters, they have a whole birthday month. Like, damn, one day is not enough, my nigga? Damn. So you got to have the whole month. You got to have the whole week. All right? Like, I don't know. Man, good night. I don't know. It's so much I can say about that. But it lets you know that Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we have so much work to do because we have been lied to. We have been bamboozled. We have been deceived. And you want to thank Master for that. You want to thank your oppressor for that because he is responsible. He is solely responsible for your demise. Okay? For all you that, you know, God loves everybody and all that, you want to thank your pastors and preachers, man. Good night, man. It's like we have so much work to do. But anyway, let's get to it. Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived. Like, don't let nobody lie to you. Ask questions. But also, too, when you ask a question, right, don't ask a question that you already know. All right? Do not play games. Okay? But if you are unsure about something, ask the question. All right? But otherwise, do not play semantics or games. Like, be genuine when you ask a question. All right? But if you already been told something, don't ask that question 1,000 times more, because what it shows is that you're wrestling with whatever was told to you. Okay? You're fighting whatever was told to you. Okay? But yeah, don't let nobody lie to you, man. If a pastor, like, question everything in life. If a pastor told you God loves everybody, where's that in the Bible? Right away, where is it in the Bible? Show me that God loves everybody. But however, in the ISUPK, we are trained professionals. It's not in the Bible. God doesn't love everybody. And you know what's crazy, though? A lot of people don't love everybody either. A lot of people don't truly love all nations of people. They may say it, but they don't really mean it. Okay? Like a lot of people really do not love every single body. That's not realistic. It's not logic. Okay? It's not practical. All right? It doesn't make sense. You sound silly. You sound like a child. All right? I love everybody in the whole wide world. So you love everybody, huh? Really? You love all the people that are unalive. You love all the child predators. You love all the racists. You love all those people who unalived your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, your auntie, your grandparents. So I guess you love everybody, huh? Okay. Good night. Anyway, and ye turn aside, Salaki, take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived. And ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. Now, the Most High is saying, look, so Moses, of course, the Most High is speaking through Moses, saying, take heed to yourselves that you do not be lied to. So that way you don't go out here and worship and serve other gods. This is said in the book of Deuteronomy, which is written by, Moses, right? Because Moses was seeing and he knew what was going on, because the captivity that we lived in, which was in Egypt. I'll keep going. Moses, the man of God that led the children of Israel out of slavery in Egypt, warned us to be careful not to be tricked into turning away from the Most High and worshiping other gods. I literally just said that. That's what it is. Moses warned us. Christ warned us. Paul warned us. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Obadiah, James, King Solomon, King David. I can go on. Everybody warned us that were of the Lord. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Salakia, our forefathers, who are all the reason why we are here. If Abraham never would have had Isaac, Isaac probably never would have had Jacob. And because of Jacob, he is the progenitor of the children of Israel. And the word progenitor means father of, right? He's the father. We are his seed. Okay, man. Like, come on now. They all warned us. When it comes to serving the Most High, this is what you do, and this is what you do not do. But we are hard-headed. We have a listening problem. We have a flesh problem, to where we listen more to what our body wants versus what the Lord wants. We serve ourselves. We serve our bodies. We serve our stomachs. We serve what is being seen through our eyelids. We serve everything that we touch and feel and smell. That's the problem. We have no self-control, no discipline. And that's why we are in captivity right now, yesterday, and thousands of years before. But were we always in captivity? No, there were different time periods where we were in captivity, and then we were delivered, and we were getting our stuff together, and then we messed up again. The Most High punished us again. Here comes another captivity. We got it in order again. We did good, and boom, we messed up. Here we go again. And now we're here. We're in captivity in America. Who is Babylon? The daughter of Babylon, who is one of the biggest, greatest whores. Why do we call it a whore? Because of all the whoredom that happens. Valentine's Day, you are going to slut yourself out. You are going to whore yourself out. You are going to spend all that money, which is really Valentine's Day is a business. You're going to spend all that money that's going to go into your oppressor's pockets, and you get nothing in return, just a nut, or probably a bullet to the head, or probably a fight or argument, but you get nothing out of it but tragedy. Just nothing. Lust. That's what you get out of it. Okay? I'm gonna get like two more and then we off this. Two more precepts. Let me see. There's so much, so much more precepts I want to get into, but I'm gonna have to wait. Let's see, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. Actually, you know what? 1 second. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Now the question is, in Jeremiah, is Israel a servant? So like, are you a servant to master? Are you a servant to your captivity? Are you a servant to the weed, the sex workers, the demon of you wanted to be intimate with the same sex as you? Are you a servant to robbing, stealing, unaliving, sleeping with another man's woman, because somehow you get off on that? All right? Are you a servant? Is Israel a servant is the question. Okay? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? So when it says, why is he spoiled, meaning like, why are you like this? Okay? Why are you like this? Like, why are you so greedy? Because spoiled, in a sense, is talking about the greed. Like, why are you like this? Like, why do you want to serve this God and that God and everything? Why do you want to do what everybody else is doing? Why do you want to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas and your birthday and Mother's Day and Father's Day? Why do you want to join and fit into the crowd? Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Why are you like this? It's because of sin. You see sin and it looks fun, so you want it. You're not fighting your flesh. Everybody's doing it, so why not? I don't see no wrong in it. It's not hurting nobody. You have no idea, man. The ripple effect, the domino effect that this has on our nation. If you think that you are not a part of the problem, you are the problem. And if you still don't see it, just look at what you do in your everyday life. Think about how your thoughts are, how your actions are. And look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm the problem. And once you realize that and you take the accountability, understand That's the first step of you changing and getting closer to that solution. So stop the weed, stop the holidays, stop the birthdays, stop talking and messing with someone else's woman. Okay? Stop all the things that are wicked. And if you don't know what is wicked and what is not wicked, come into the ISUPK. We can show you through the Bible what is wrong and what is right, what is moral and what is unmoral, according to the Bible. And yes, this book was written by a man, but it wasn't the white man. It was niggas. It was Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. That's who it was. This Bible was definitely written by the hands of a man, of many men. Absolutely. But of course, the author is the Most High, of course, because he's the one that told us to write these words in this book through his messengers, of course, right? His angels. Okay, let me see here. All right, with that being said, it's like, you know what? No. Let me see. All right, verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? That's another big problem, right? Proverbs 3:31 says, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. That's another precept to show you not to choose your oppressor ways. Jeremiah said it, and King Solomon said it in the book of Proverbs. How many times does someone have to tell you the same thing until you absolutely hear it and acknowledge it? Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Now, Jeremiah just said, why? It's like, where's that? 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Why do you trim your way to seek love? Why do you have to lose yourself in order to gain somebody else or gain this thing from someone? Why must you have to cut off that morality of yours in order to be accepted? Why must you have to smoke weed? Why do you have to, rob and steal and have intercourse at a certain age? Says who? Why do you have to celebrate tomorrow's holiday, Valentine's Day? Says who? Mother's Day, Father's Day. Says who? Why do you have to trim your ways for someone else's ways? Why? That's what you should ask yourself. Why do you have to strip something away from yourself in order to give to someone else? Why? It doesn't make sense. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? If you have to rip away your morality or trim something away from you that is right in order to seek someone else's love or attention, that's not love. That's what you need to know. That is not love. Okay? That is not love at all. And what's going to happen is you are going to find out the hard way. Don't let nobody peer pressure you into anything. To hell with Valentine's Day. To hell with any holiday. Who gives a damn about your birthday? Nobody. It's irrelevant. It's a great thing that you are alive. But honestly, no one deserves to be alive if you are a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indian. And that includes myself. We all deserve death because of what we did in the past. What we did yesterday, what we did today, what we did tomorrow. What we are going to do tomorrow. We don't deserve life, but the Most High is a merciful power, but it's running out when it comes to your actions and your way of life. What you should do is seek love from the Lord versus anybody else. And when you do that, you will be loved by everyone else. Trust me. There's a precept that talks about when you are at peace with the Most High, even your enemies will be at peace with you. Perfect precept. Perfect. I'll leave it right there. I'm gonna drop the mic right there. All right. With that being said, Haimadrim, which means to stand. Okay. All right. Let's get into the security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves in the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, my Asherah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or priest. Free will offered for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. So once again, we have what is called Purim. Week, all right? So get ready for that. Now, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, so once again, Imagine, which means to stand, Wakani Hakodan, face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Avanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shukah, Yahweh, Malabatka, Taba'ah, Rakazaka, Hayah, Asha, Ba'arakaza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathananawa, Nakam, Ko, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawakana, Kawakanawa, Wasalakanawa, Kawakanawa, Wala'a, Taba'ana, Wanasaya 1, Fall, Kawashanawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Malakwa, Wa'ala, Wakapara, La Awalamu, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. Bless Israel in the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, Barak Banawa, Vayasha'ala, Wahabayah, Sapari, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magan, Halgan. Say the name of loved ones once, everyone repeats the name once. So, for time's sake, all of Israel, Israelite School UPK, all those dead in Christ, it's like all those dead in Israel, may they rise again. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Tawara Aman. In the English, Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us in Yasha'ala, in the school. Bless He will show protect loved ones. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Power structures. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now, right now. To evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, like prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. To the evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches into thy sanctuary. To evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and the Dracula's, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Positive the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, works of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels, to big the spirit of any thy people that seek to stop us, bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, but try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the place at the house of the thief and the murderer, that Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down to flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it's an angel that done it. Cause it to spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause him to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, our King, the Mashiach, thank you always. So be it. All right, Sar, this means a turn. Men of Israel, Amai Shabbat, Amai Barak, Yahweh Shemei Al Shai Barakathon. Yazmatah. Courtesy salute for the sisters. Men of Israel, Amai Shabbat, Amai Barak, Yahweh Shemei Al Shemei Al Shai. Yazmatah. Class dismissed.
The ISUPK presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.